Juan was the best oyster diver in his small seaside village. One day, he found an injured sea otter and nursed it back to health. From the moment the grateful otter was able to walk, it never left Juan's side. It even learned to dive for oysters and to bring his catch back to Juan. Their combined oyster harvest was so successful that he developed a reputation all along the coast. One day, a man arrived at Juan's house looking to hire him for the week. His wife answered the door.
"Sure,"
said his wife.
"it will cost you $500.
That much? Replied the prospective client.
"But you're getting my husband and his otter.
Explained his wife.
They can harvest more oysters than anyone else in town."
I just want one, the man countered. I'll hire him alone for $350.
"Sorry,"
she shrugged.
"you cannot have one without the otter."
3 dinosaurs are out hunting for food when they come upon a shiny lamp. One of them rubs it, and a mystical blue genie comes out in a puff of smoke. The genie says,
I usually only grant 3 wishes, so I'll grant each of you one.
The first dinosaur says,
I wish for a large piece of meat.
A large slab of meat materializes before his eyes and plops down in front of him.
I wish for a shower of meat,
says the second dinosaur. A cloud appears and meat rains down on the dinosaur's head. Not wanting to be outdone by his friends, the third dinosaur thinks hard to come up with a better wish. Suddenly, he bursts.
I've got it! I wish for a meteor shower!
In Jerusalem, a female journalist hears about a very old Jewish man who has been going to the Wailing Wall to pray twice a day, every day for nearly 80 years. She thinks this is amazing and wants to see it for herself. So she goes to the Wailing Wall, and there he is! She watches him as he prays. Then, as he turns to leave, she approaches him for an interview.
"Sir, how long have you been coming to the wall and praying?"
she asks.
For about 60 years,
He answers.
60 years? That's amazing! What do you pray for?
She asks. He replies,
I pray for peace. I pray for all the hatred to stop. And I pray for all our children to grow up in safety and friendship.
How do you feel after doing this for 60 years?
She continues. He thinks for a moment, then replies,
Like I'm talking to a wall.
A ball of string rolls into a bar and sits down. He asks for a drink, but the bartender tells him apologetically,
Sorry, we don't serve strings here.
Confused, the string leaves and goes home. A few days later, the string returns to the bar, this time sitting at a different end of the bar. He asks for another drink, and the bartender responds,
Hey, aren't you that string from the other day? I told you, we don't serve strings here.
Dejected, the string leaves and returns home once again. A few weeks go by, and the string decides to try his luck one more time. He ties himself up and pulls apart the top of his string to change his appearance. He enters the bar, sits down, and orders a drink. The bartender looks long and hard, then says,
Hey, you look familiar. You've definitely been around here. Aren't you that string from a while back?
The string looks him straight in the eye and says coolly,
Nope. I'm afraid not.
A man is about to walk into a bar known for having lots of beautiful women, when a bouncer stops him at the door. The bouncer says,
We have a dress policy where ties are mandatory for men, and you are just wearing a shirt that's open at the collar. Sorry, I can't let you in.
So the man returns to his vehicle to see if he has a tie anywhere. Sadly, he doesn't, but while looking, he notices he has a set of jumper cables in the back of his car. He's desperate to get into the bar, so he fashions the jumper cables into a rough tie knot around his neck, with the ends dangling free. When he goes back to the bar, the bouncer looks him over carefully and then nods.
Okay, I guess you can come in now,
He says.
Just don't start anything.
A Russian scientist and a Czech scientist spend their lives studying grizzly bears. Each year, they petition their respective governments to allow them to go to Yellowstone Park to study the bears. Finally, their request is granted, and they immediately fly to the United States to visit Yellowstone Park. When they report to the ranger station, they are told that it is the grizzly mating season and it is too dangerous to study the animals. The scientists plead that this is their only chance, and finally the ranger gives in. The Russian and the Czech are given cell phones and are told to report in every day. For several days, the scientists call in as requested. Then, on the fourth day, there is no phone call. The rangers mount a search party and find the camp completely ravaged, with no sign of the missing men. They find bear tracks and follow the trail of a male and female bear. Eventually, they locate the female bear and decided they must put the animal down to find out if she has eaten the scientists. When they open the stomach, they find the remains of the Russian scientist. One ranger turns to the other and says,
You know what this means, don't you?
The other ranger responds, Of course I do. The check is in the mail. Jose lives in a small rural Mexican village. He absolutely loves American baseball, and it's all he ever talks about. One day, all the villagers decide to take up a collection so that they can send Jose to an American baseball game. The day finally arrives when Jose is going to be traveling to see an actual baseball game. On the way out to the game, Jose's car breaks down. So when he eventually gets to the game is sold out. Jose pleads with the ticket agent.
Please, I drove all the way up from Mexico. Isn't there something you can do?
Well, says the ticket agent, there is one seat left, but it's right at the top of the flagpole. If you want it, it's yours.
I'll take it,
Jose says excitedly. After the game, Jose drives back to Mexico. The next day, all the villagers visit Jose's house and ask him,
Jose, tell us, did you have a good time?
Oh yes,
Jose replies.
The American people are so nice.
What do you mean?
The villagers ask.
Well, before the game started, all the people stood up, looked right at me, and started singing, Jose, can you see?
A woman gives birth to twin boys, but due to difficult circumstances, she has to give them up for adoption. One of the twins is adopted by a family in Egypt and is named Amal. The other is adopted by a family in Spain and is named Juan. Years pass, and she often wonders about her twins, hoping that one day they might be reunited. One day, she receives a letter in the mail. It's from Juan. Excitedly, she opens it and finds a heartfelt letter and a recent picture of Juan. She immediately shows the picture to her husband, her voice trembling with emotion.
Look, it's Juan. He's all grown up and looks so happy,
she exclaims. Her husband smiles warmly and says,
That's wonderful, dear. It's so nice to see him after all these years.
As she carefully places the picture in a frame, she sighs and says,
I wish I had a picture of Amal, too. I'd love to see what he looks like now.
Her husband gently pats her shoulder and tells her,
Honey, they're twins. If you've seen one, you've seen 'em all.
The world's foremost authority on wasps sees an old vinyl record in the window of a record shop. Wasp noises from around the world. Intrigued, he goes into the shop and asks if he can listen to it. Certainly, says the shop assistant as he pops it onto a turntable. After listening to the first track for a while, the man is a bit confused.
I don't recognize any of these noises, and I'm the world's foremost authority on wasps. Can you play the next track, please?
The assistant obliges and skips the needle onto the next track. After a while, the man is still confused.
No, I don't recognize any of these wasps. Can you try the next track?
The assistant skips the needle to the next track, and the man listens for a little while longer before shaking his head.
It's no good. I just don't recognize any of these wasps.
Finally, the assistant peers at the record label and says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. I had it on the B side."